We arrived in Arequipa, Peru's second-largest city, at 3 a.m. Our accommodation was perfectly situated in the heart of the old town, right next to the Plaza de Armas. The hotel was incredibly spacious, and I could see the towering volcano right from my window. It even had a large communal kitchen for guests to use. Arequipa was established during the Spanish colonial era, and its architecture reflects that heritage with its orderly streets and pedestrian walkways. A stark contrast to the layout of Cusco, known as the White City. It is surrounded by 3 volcanoes, and many of its original buildings were constructed using sillar, a white volcanic stone. While the historic center is the main hub for tourists and has a high police presence, our guide cautioned us not to stray more than 2 blocks from the main plaza after 10 p.m. The plaza itself is a one-stop shop for everything from booking short excursions to daily essentials. We started our exploration at a viewpoint in Yanahuara, a local residential neighborhood. Leaving the main tourist paths, we crossed a bridge offering a distant view of 2 snow-capped volcanoes. After walking through quaint, ancient streets, we reached the viewpoint where we took some photos of one of the peaks. A short walk down a nearby alley reveals the summits of the other 2. It's arguably the best spot to capture the city and volcanoes in a single frame, though there are even better vantage points for the volcanoes themselves later in the trip. To get a true sense of local life, we visited a nearby market. Our guide led us on a fruit tasting tour, introducing us to local gooseberries, custard apple, passion fruit, and cactus fruit. The refreshing fruit was a welcome relief from the dry Andean air and the fatigue of travel. A quick tip for fellow travelers: while ATMs are available, they often have low withdrawal limits and high exchange fees. Since most places in Peru now accept cards without surcharges, I found it much easier to swipe my card whenever possible. For lunch, I was determined to try the local specialty, ricotta relleno stuffed peppers. Authentic Arequipino cuisine is best found at a picanteria, traditional eateries that typically serve lunch and are located in residential areas. I found one nearby, but arriving after 3 p.m. was a mistake. They were closing at 5 p.m. and had already run out of the stuffed peppers. Instead, I tried another Andean delicacy, Kai guinea pig. It was deep fried to a perfect crisp and surprisingly tasty. I paired it with Inca Cola, which has a unique flavor quite different from standard colas. The next 2 days were dedicated to Colca Canyon. The drive out of the city was a bit chaotic as there's only one main road, but the scenery quickly shifted to stunning volcanic vistas. As we ascended into the mountains, we encountered all 4 types of Andean camelids: guanacos, vicuñas, llamas, and alpacas. While llamas and alpacas are domesticated and often kept as livestock, guanacos and vicuñas remain wild and are strictly protected. The vicuña produces the finest and most expensive wool in the world. Interestingly, llamas are used as sturdy pack animals due to their endurance, while alpacas require constant water sources and graze on specific grasses. During the 5-hour journey, we reached a staggering altitude of 4,910 meters. We stopped for a break and enjoyed some local Inca tea made with Muna Andean mint and coca leaves to help with the altitude. This stop also provided the ultimate photo option of the 3 volcanoes. Along the way, you'll see locals with their llamas and alpacas, a traditional way for them to earn a living through photos. Lunch was a hearty Andean buffet featuring everything from alpaca meat to traditional soups and desserts. The portions were massive. Even the small pieces of meat were huge. We eventually arrived in Chive, the regional capital situated at over 3,600 meters. This town of 7,000 residents is famous for its hot springs and vibrant culture. Walking through the streets, I saw many locals in traditional dress and 3-wheel motorcycle taxis uniquely decorated. At the evening stalls, vendors were brewing herbal teas, likely to ward off the biting mountain cold. It was so chilly that we had to keep our heater on all night. The following morning at 6:30 a.m., we set off for the Cruz del Condor. The Andean Condor, one of the world's largest flying birds, typically takes flight for only an hour or so in the morning. as we drove along the edge of Colca Canyon, one of the deepest in the world. The morning light revealed vast agricultural terraces and the river winding far below. The hillsides were covered in various species of cacti. Our guide showed us a type of cactus fruit that was surprisingly sweet, pads, and pointed out tiny cochineal insects on the cactus. When crushed, these insects produce a vibrant red dye used globally in lipsticks and cosmetics. At the lookout, we watched in awe as more and more condors emerged. These massive birds can weigh up to 15 kilograms with wingspans exceeding 3 meters, allowing them to glide for over 170 kilometers without flapping a wing. Watching these scavengers soar above the sheer cliffs was a spiritual experience. Afterward, we hiked along the canyon as our guide pointed out various native flora. After the 3.5-hour drive back to Arequipa, we spent a final day relaxing. While the hotel offers massages, I chose to visit the Santa Catalina Monastery. Built in 1579, this city within a city was secluded for 4 centuries. It is famous for its striking contrast of terracotta red and Moroccan blue walls, blending Spanish colonial style with volcanic stone aesthetics. Admission is 50 sols, and I highly recommend hiring a guide. The historical context they provide about the convent's social history is fascinating. I finished my trip by returning to the local restaurant for a final meal. This time, I finally got my ricotto relleno with a side of potato gratin, washed down with cola escocesa, a soda made with local mineral water. It was the perfect end to my time in the White City. Next stop, the legendary Cusco.